So what does weaving mean to you?
For me personally, it means a way of me to express myself and still create that artist inside me. That for all my life has been dying to get out in some way, shape, form, or another. And I'm happy that I'm able to do it in this field. I wish I could have gotten to it a lot sooner, but hey, it's nothing like the present.
Hello and welcome to the New York Guild of Handweavers Member Spotlight. My name is Katie Clements and I am the membership chair of the Guild. With almost 200 members, the New York Guild of Handweavers provides inspiration, information, and mutual support to anyone interested in weaving, tapestry, spinning, or fiber arts through speakers, workshops, as well as our lending library. Go to nyhandweavers.org for more information. Today, we will talk with New York Guild member Sandra Dudley. Sandra is a true Renaissance woman. Originally from Detroit, she came to New York to become an actress, landing some acting roles in a few commercials. She's also a dancer and toured the world with a Brazilian dance troupe. After an injury sidelined her from her dancing career, she went to school to become a graphic designer. She graduated from Lehman College with a BA in Fine Arts at what Sandra says was a later age in life. After graduation, the only job that she was able to get was working for AHRC NYC as a community habilitation professional. AHRC stands for Advocacy Humanity Rehabilitation and Change. Part of the job was taking her clients out into the community and get them immersed into activities. Her clients were people who have psychiatric issues ranging from bipolar to schizophrenia. She was in Brooklyn with some clients and saw Cynthia Alberto from Weaving Hand. She took her first group of students to Weaving Hand and was amazed how her clients took to weaving. Sandra herself then started taking classes with Cynthia, who Sandra considers to be a mentor. Sandra has connected so much with weaving, she got rid of her television and now uses that space for her looms. Sandra's style is freeform, and she finds weaving to be very soothing and relaxing. Welcome, Sandra.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you for the warm welcome.
Sure. So I have a few questions. So how did you get started in fiber arts?
Oh, long story. Okay, but I'm gonna take it back to when I was a kid. I used to knit. Me and my mother would knit, sitting and watching TV with the lights off because you could just feel your way. So my mother even bought me a little knitting machine, but I grew out of that, so to speak. But I came to New York and I wanted to become an actress. And I got the opportunity to act and dance. I traveled with this Brazilian dance group. I toured. I did some commercials. Even a lot of people I did this Billy Joel video called Tell Her About It. I did a Safeguard commercial, couple movies, small roles. And the Brazilian dance group, I got to travel all over the world. So that was really a highlight of my life. But then with a dance injury, I had to put that aside. So I knew I wanted to stay and do something creative. So I became a graphic designer. I started working as a receptionist in this graphic design studio. And then he taught me the tricks of the trade, but it was never really enough. Although I was able to maintain it, it was never really enough. So I went back to college in my 50s. And since I was going in my 50s, I decided to take what I wanted to take. So I graduated with a Bachelor of Fine Arts, but computer arts was what I majored in. And I did quite well until I started going out looking for work. And then, my contemporaries are like 15 or 20, in their 20s. And it just wasn't helping me any. So it didn't work. I, by chance, I was working for a Sussaride overnight, and it was killing me. It was how I was paying my way to college. So I got this job offer at AHRC, didn't know what it was, but I took it because I couldn't work at a Sussaride anymore. So I got in there, and because of my quirky background, I was allowed to create my own itinerary for my clients. It was like my first month there. So I took my first group of 5 people out. I had 2 who had schizophrenia. One, she had Down syndrome, and 2 who had bipolar. I took them out to, we were just walking around Brooklyn, and that's where it was an art exhibit. And that's where I stumbled onto Cynthia Alberto. But she started talking to my clients, which was, because a lot of times people are afraid of them. And this one person, I didn't want her to talk to anybody because it could trigger something. So, but she really liked it. So I asked her, I said, I really would like to try to get my people into where can I buy looms. So she starts telling me that she taught, and that she has worked with people from AHRC. And she told me what the prices were and have you, but she says not to worry because they bill later. So I came back and told my supervisor, who happened to know who she was, and said, yes, if you can get people to do that, then so I said, I take the same little group. And my supervisor wasn't having, she said, are you sure? Because some of these people really, if they don't want to do something, you're out in public. I said, but they said they would. So we went there the first day, and there were other people. There was other people from other day camp facilities within AHRC that were there. So they took their spot, and everybody did a little something. They didn't have, there was some rebuttal, but they sat down. But by the 5th time of them going, some just wanted to go just to get out. But by the 5th time that we sat down, they had all started making their little scarves, and they wanted to come back so they can get their scarves, because they can, you could take them home with you. So then I brought this new girl. Her name was Ashley. And Ashley, she was about 25 years old. She doesn't talk. She makes a little, and she runs. Okay, so it was a trek to get her there, because she will run away from you. And I'm getting older, and I cannot do that. But she's always fast at everything that she does. She set down there the bag that's in the picture. She did that within a 2-hour time frame. And that was her first time weaving. And it was just simply, all you had to do is just show her once. And this girl just went to town, just going back and forth. Whereas some of my other clients, they can be a little sloppy. Hers had to be perfection. She would take it back if there was a loop or what have you, or missing. She wanted perfection. So then we just slowly graduated her to, she started doing one of the floor looms. It took her a little while to get the feet and what have you, but she was able to do that. And then the one who I thought that was really going to have a problem, who was the instigator, turns out I used to allow her to teach weaving at the facility, because I had coping with her problems. She just wanted to have somebody, she wanted to be in charge of something. So when she would get upset when it came time to try to loop it, and that's when the behaviors would start. She would start throwing things and what have you. But I had a long talk with her one day, and I said, listen, I can't take you back there if you're going to continue to do this. So what's the problem? So it turns out, she says, I get frustrated in trying to loop it. So for the next 2 months, I made her loop every loom that was because I made them buy looms for us. So I made her loop every loom there was, and that until she got it in her head. I said, because I'm learning too. So you can't get upset. You don't see me throwing it down, so you just have to keep throwing it. My clients became, even for the males, I had one who was he was bipolar. He was really funny, but he would sit there and he would do it like for 2 minutes, and then he's ready to move on. He just wants to talk. He came to talk. So that's what he did, but it really soothed him. And she would just let you sit there, and do whatever. So, and what I liked about Cynthia was that she included my clients in shows. Like, she did something at the art museum over here on 59th Street. And my client, she made up a schedule for us to come. She was there for 2 months. So we came every Tuesday. People will come in and look at them weave, and she will instruct them, and she'll be talking to, the guests that came in there, but she would be sitting there instructing them in how to, what she wanted to have done. So she was very inclusive with my population, which I loved. I think weaving for them is a way of, it does the same thing as knitting does to them. And you get some people who I had an older woman. Her weaving wasn't all that great, but it opened her up. They weren't taking her out in the community. And actually, I used to work for her family. So I would take her out, and she could never get how to put it on, but she would make up her own stuff. She would start something, then she would take the yarn and just wrap it around. But then she'll grab another color and maybe go in the opposite direction. And it just soothed her. So to me, a lot of the other DSPs didn't want to do it, but I loved it. It was like, I found it to be very relaxing. It's amazing that every studio that deals with this population all has some weaving looms. Pure Vision is a school, but it's all artists. You have to be an artist in the population. And I think they have 1 floor loom and 2 looms. And I said, when I retire, I'm going to come back and teach. I don't know the floor looms. I got to find a way of how to do the floor looms, but I'll have to come back and teach. I love it, and watching them and seeing the expressions on their faces and how they, and she had 2 guys. They were from another day program. These guys have been weaving for, I'm gonna say 8 years. And some of the things that they made, blankets, whatever, they weren't even doing it. They were only, if Cynthia was working on, if she had pieces on the floor looms, then they wouldn't do anything, because they were beyond doing the rigid. It would be over, they would be bored. So they would come in and they would even finish up some of her pieces. If it was just straight, without a pattern, what have you. These guys were good, and they didn't talk or what have you. But they were good. She had a really wonderful place. Yeah. And where she was at, where we met her she was at the Pratt building, 630 Flushing Avenue, inside the Pratt floor. So my clients got to see a whole nother world. It was really a great opportunity for my clients to participate in. So that's what Cynthia means to me.
Well, now then you started to take lessons yourself as a weaver.
I started taking lessons from her, and which I got some looms from. I started doing the rigid now. I don't know how I saw something hanging up on the wall, and I started now to associate with, remember back in my old art classes in college, how we were looking at some of the century art in France. And a lot of that was tapestry. And, but it was funny because I remember having a debate with one of my art teachers, and she was talking about that was done on a loom. And I'm saying, how is that done? How can that be done? I could see you doing tapestry. but I can't see it being done on a loom like that until Cynthia opened my eyes and said, yeah, it can be done on a loom like that. And she's basically all those, because she kept telling me not to get a tap, stay on the rigid, and learn the basic steps from there. Nah, I'm gonna do it. But see, as you see, I'm back to, like I said, what I'm calling it freestyling. But it's really, I know I need to have more stitches and more how to join my yarns together and all. So I'm going back. I have to go back to basics.
Wow.
Go back to basics.
You started with a great mentor and teacher.
Yeah, she was. She's a very strong woman. She's here. I mean, she used to do these sojourns to Mexico and all. She would come back. That's where this piece came from her. But I was shocked that it had a curve to it. She said, yeah, well, sometimes they do, people, everything is not perfect. Because that's what I was trying to get rid of, all those. That's what was my, problem. Sometimes I have the lice and then the curves, and like I'm pulling too tight on the yarn. So that's what I was noticing. So she said, yeah, but they kept plowing through, because she would always tell me, just keep plowing through. Don't keep restarting. Everybody makes mistakes. And if they have to restart, nothing will be seen. You got to learn to work through those mistakes.
It's a good point. Keep moving.
Yeah. Keep moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Cynthia recently it's come to light that she has stage 4 lung cancer. Having
lost a friend earlier this year to cervical cancer, this kind of struck me hard. She's a part of the community, and I just don't want her to be forgotten. What she means to me, what she meant to the people who I serve. She's really a very talented woman who graced everybody with open arms.
So what kind of looms do you like?
If I had a large apartment, I would probably have a floor loom. However, I'm taking to the Mirexes. I might eventually go back and get a rigid Harrisville rigid, maybe. But I have a tiny, tiny, tiny apartment. So I built a wall unit, and I had a TV set over there, television set. And I said, well, what's going to happen? Where am I going to put this? Where am I going to put this? So I said, well, I could use not watching TV. So I got rid of the television set. So all my looms sit over there on my shelf, and each of them has something on it. Okay, that's terrible for me. But each of them has something on it. The one that I really like to try to do my stitches and put them on is one that I got off of Amazon for like $40, but it's tiny. My little craziness is working for this one little loom. So I tend to stay on there, but I'm trying to gradually take it up to larger.
And besides Cynthia Alberto, who are the weavers who inspire you?
I like Pat Williams. I like her abstract faces. They're like caricatures. Like she has this one where I had to look at it really hard to see that it wasn't a painting, because the person's hair is blowing in the back. I'm like, wow, I wish I could do that. I read that this was done on a floor loom. So I'm like, how long did that take? Because that's a stop and go. Because the hair is like, and it's curling. It's like, how did she get up there? How did she stop that? That to me, that's really amazing. The other one was somebody who I happened to meet through you guys, Molly Elkin. And she started out late in life doing this, she says, but I love her work. She did this, remembering she did this thing with cherries or something. It was out in the woods, and it was just it was like a picture. Then Rebecca Masna, I think everybody knows her. And she's the first tapestry artist. I said, wow. She has this one thing that has a circle, and it has another color on it, but it looks like it's transparent. I have her book. The iPad is sitting on top of it today. The other one is somebody you guys brought to my attention, James Kohler. And Archie Brennan.
Speaking of art, let's share the screen and talk to me about these pieces.
Okay.
What's this?
The JW. I'm a Jehovah's Witness. I'm trying to do letters.
Uh-huh.
And I was playing with texture here. So this was my first circle. It was not I didn't follow a pattern, but I turned out to like it. What it was you were supposed to isolate it, and then you just go around. I didn't like the idea that it just sat by itself. So I did one roll of the texture, and then another roll of the yellow, going just so that I wouldn't get that it wouldn't be out. I didn't like it out like that, so that's what this piece turned into.
Circles are pretty hard in weaving, and you sure got this one. Great.
Thank you.
Let's see. Ooh.
Okay, so this is Ashley in her very first scarf.
Now, Ashley was the woman that you were talking about.
Yeah, she took on very fast.
Wow, look at her edges.
Yes.
Yeah. Boy.
And whereas some of my other clients would, it would be nice, but it would be pulled in and what have you. Hers wasn't. Okay. And this is her bag that she made. They were stuffing it for her so that they were going to make a bag out of it. So they took the fabric and sewed it on the side, and they were fixing on the inside. Then they gave her a strap.
Wow, a lot to be proud of.
Yeah, she was very proud. Another me playing with letters and textures.
Letters are hard too.
Letters are very hard. I'm kind of stopped doing them right now because there's somebody who does them, and she does it on a single. I got to figure out how to do it, so it's going to come at a later date.
Well, and I think if it can be done, I have faith you'll figure it out.
Thank you. This is another gift. I was playing with triangles and different textures.
Love the combo.
And that's my scarf did not turn out as well as Ashley's, but this was my scarf.
It's a great picture.
And this is actually in Cynthia's studio when she was at the Pratt Institute. See, it was an open space loft. So like this was hers, and she had this other side where her large looms was, but somebody next door was somebody different. This is another one of my clients who on a rigid with different fabric. And it was Eloise. She was upset about this, but it looks like it was done purposely.
What was she upset about?
This that line that goes through.
Boy, that looks like a nice design element.
Yeah, that's what I told her. That's what we told her. But she didn't want it that way. So, but she took it. She liked it later. When I first started getting into shapes.
Okay.
My very first circle, triangle.
Wow.
And this is a Mirex weave along. That's what I've been doing. So it was their winter thing. Mm-hmm. I liked it, and I like it for its abstractness.
And the colors are just so great.
I like this one too. Another just playing with shapes. And I think this is like a Rhea knot, and you leave it loose. So.
Oh, Oh, the bottom part?
Or do you, yeah,
Wow, that's such great texture.
yeah, that's why it's there. I like the texture of it.
So what does weaving mean to you?
For me personally, it means a way of me to express myself and still create that artist inside me, that for all my life has been dying to get out in some way, shape, form, or another. And I'm happy that I'm able to do it in this field. I wish I could have gotten to it a lot sooner, but hey, it's nothing like the present.
And what does being part of a guild mean to you?
This has opened up my eyes a lot. I was doing things on my own, but once COVID came, I couldn't see, I wasn't really working with AHRC, so I wasn't taking the people there. So I was sort of out here on my own. I can't remember Cynthia talking about a guild. I just happened to have Googled you, and I decided to join. So it means a lot to me. It means it's a way for me to connect with people, see people who I never would have known, helping me to expand my own resources and get out of being shy about it. I was going to turn this down because I wasn't really proud of my work, just to speak. I've seen some of the work that some of the other guild members have done, and I'm like, I don't really want to do this, because it's still beginners. But I did this more so for my mentor, and it was a way for me to talk about her, and also to show my work, and it is what it is. Who knows where I'm going to be at 2 years from now. So I've come a long way, and a lot of this I've done by myself. So
Well, to inspire other people who maybe haven't started, and also tell the story about how you connected people in the population you had worked with. You connected them with weaving. That's an important.
yes, that's important. That's important. They got an opportunity to see and experience art.
Yeah, that's really meaningful.
Yeah.
So what's ahead for you in your work?
I am going to, you gave me that the Mac draw. So I am, by the end of this year, I'm going to I'm going to try to do a picture. And actually I have a picture in mind. One of my clients, I don't know if you can see up there, you see that orange thing?
Oh yeah.
It was one of my clients who I put him into an art school, Pure Vision. So he's a graffiti artist. He's shown his work at some museums. The mayor bought one of his little paintings. So I'm gonna try to translate this picture into something which Molly helped me in doing and deciding on a picture, is not to incorporate the whole thing. You take pictures or little angles of a certain area, and that's what you try to incorporate, because not everything you may be able to translate. And I'm not up there with Pat Williams who could take a whole picture. So just take something that's small that you can translate that will still capture the image. So that's what I would like to do. That's my plan this year, is to get more technique and stitches down. And then next year I will pledge to do a portrait, a tapestry portrait.
And like Cynthia said, just keep moving.
Just keep moving. Yeah. Just keep moving.
Last question. You mentioned in something you wrote to me, you took a class at MAFA. What was it, and what was your experience of that?
I took Molly Elkin's class. And I loved it. I enjoyed it. I think it was 101 tapestry. And actually we did not touch weaving. It was about getting your designs down and in a coherent form, whether you're, an artist, what have you. Take pictures. She asked us to take pictures on our iPhone and take that picture and really try to work with it. I got the yarn that she wanted us to, how you going to break each part of this picture down and get a sample yarn, put that in the book, plan it out and how you're going to go about doing it. So it reminds me of being in art and being in my art classes. So, you have to tackle it. You need to tackle it like this. Because, I'm right now, my head is all jumbled. It was like, I want to do this, but you don't really know how to do this. And before you can do this, you gotta crawl before you can, walk. So thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for always showing up at meetings, for movie night, for just engaging with the Guild. And it's very important, that's what makes these events, is people showing up. And I always feel I can count on Sandra Dudley to be there.
Oh, that's good. Thank you. I enjoy being there.
Thank you for bringing great light on Cynthia Alberto, and thank you for sharing your history, and look forward to more.
All right, thank you.
And thanks for watching. If you like the video, please like, comment, and share, and subscribe to the New York Guild of Handweavers YouTube channel. If you're interested in joining the New York Guild of Handweavers, go to nyhandweavers.org. See you in the next video, and until then, happy weaving.